Okay, third video for this morning over here. In regards to video number one and video number two, it's 2:46 right now in the morning. It's still Sunday, the 17th of September, 2023. And Weaver John C., the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which would be me. All right. Passage of a deputy or police officer is hard enough to deal with. The people around him, around the deceased, and not to mention the family, have to deal with the grieving, the pain, and the PTSD of it all. They have to. That's the thing we don't even look at. As civilians, we don't even look at that particular portion, do we? It's bad enough we got to deal with our own, or try to ignore and try to be happy about things left and right, but we know we're being torn apart left and right. I've got friends out there who they're getting their memories handed to them on a silver platter with a lot of pain attached to it. And they want to show to the people how much in pain that they are, and believe me, I relate. I relate too damn well. I also relate with the other people who have lost and also are affected by this, regardless of who and what they are. If the families grieve, if the friends grieve, I grieve with them. I mourn with them. Hell, I cry with them if I need to, because I know how it feels. I've been going through the roller coasters for a hell of a long while since Ma died. But after my brother passed away in 2018, Ma was back in 2013. And there was a friend of ours after that, and a family pet. You know, I got a lifelong uh, succession of people I hadn't even mourned really greatly yet, although since the time of my birth. So, if I knew them, and if I knew of them and what they've done, what they've gone through, yeah, I got issues over this. So yeah, I can mourn and not feel happy about my life in the first place. I can look at myself in the mirror and think, this sucks. Let's get my screen cleared off. It hurts looking at what has happened and how do we deal with it? How do we deal with the loss? I guess that'll be always the question for every one of us mourners, every one of us who actually lost family or friends or people that are close to us or even remotely close to us. But if we feel the pain, if we feel the emptiness, the loss, the heart torn apart and put into a Cuisinart and ground up while it's beating and we're feeling it. I've used that example too many times. I also relate well to the roller coaster. You get triggered, the trigger words are already done, whatever kind of trigger it is, and then pretty shortly, you're up to the races. There'll be something that puts you off your guard, off your ease. Something will subtly hit you. And then you feel the overwhelming urge to cry like crazy because that trigger had already gotten into your system already. It just got processed. And now you're ready to go through the roller coaster, the emotions, the highs and lows, the twists and turns, the ups and downs, and the corkscrews, and everything else that it does to you. It makes you cry like crazy. It makes you feel worse than anything else. You can't escape it. You can't ignore it. You're wondering why you, why this, why now, why is it important? You're asking people, what is it about this that's driving me crazy that I can't get rid of? And you can't get rid of it because it's there. You can't get rid of it because it's in your face. You can't get rid of it because it's in your heart and your soul. And you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the process. Probably what drives people crazy, I guess. I would think so. Isolation. Sometimes other people will have other people close to them. But I can tell you one thing: it hurts when you're feeling this. Sorry, bugs. It hurts when I'm going through it. It hurts that I have to deal with it. It hurts that I have to acknowledge that pain is there and I have to deal with it. I can't associate with people these days because I know I'm going to get triggered one way or another. I try to. I try to associate as best as I can, but I feel like I got this wall of isolation going on. It's one thing when I was growing up with that wall of isolation because I couldn't deal with anybody else around me. I didn't realize, didn't understand it, didn't know about it, I don't know if I could try explaining it without mumbling like crazy on this one, but I can say that feeling and using the isolationism as a protection, it just makes you. Well, actually, it made me a neurotic case, and now I got to deal with it with other people having issues over it because they don't know how to deal with it, and I understand that. Believe me, I do. I understand what they're going through. I don't know because I don't know the other person, and how the hell should I know? Because grief and mourning's the same damn thing. It doesn't matter what kind of nameplate you put on it. Who died, who didn't die, what you lost, what you didn't lose. Who was that much more important and who wasn't. Trust me, it's the same thing. They may be close, they may be far. You may have tried this one. My brother cried when Michael Jackson died. I didn't. He didn't hit me. It didn't hit me personal. To my brother, it was personal. I mentioned growing up with the music, but he also met the kid a long time ago for a short time. Still made an impact on my brother. Decades later, I hear about the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, passes away. I looked at her. I had seen the images of Queen Mum for decades. She got older and older until she started really resembling my grandmother and my aunt at the same time. And then it hit. And then it hit. Then I realized I was looking at my grandmother and my aunt. And as a kid, I'd lost them. As a teenager, I lost them. It hurt. It hurt a great deal. My aunt, on my 12th birthday, I think, right after my 12th birthday, just hours, she passed away. My grandmother had taken care of, or helped take care of, regarding a stroke situation, the last few years of her life. My mother was struggling hard. My brother was having issues. My brother come back from the Navy with issues. Had to go back into the Navy with the issues. Still didn't resolve the issues. But still. But he was there when Grandma died. I didn't mourn as heavily and deeply as I should have. I didn't know how to. And my aunt I mourned and I grieved, but I didn't. I was still young and I was still trying to deal and cope and push things aside and deal with life and everything else. And deal with a vision of her in a dream, and then that day I was just torn apart. And I had to go to school and learn stuff, didn't I? Grandma died during the summertime, and I had to go back to school. Didn't take the time to mourn or grieve. No, because you're a kid, you got no choice. You got to go to school, you got to learn, you got to shove shit aside. You have to be a brave little boy. Doesn't matter how many dogs also along the way or aunts and uncles and cousins and people that mattered a damn in your life. Always had to shove that aside because you had to be the brave one all the time. Until it really gets personal when a mother goes, or a parent, and then you lose a surrogate parent, a best friend, a pet who's a best friend, and then finally, what completes the misery, a close sibling that's been with you from day one of your life. You tell me I don't know the pain. You tell me I don't know anything. Huh? Well, I do know. There is no set way of getting past it. There's no set way of hiding through the damn thing because you still have it. I don't care how much chemicals you pump into your damn system, how much food you keep processing in your damn gut, how many damn meetings you go to, you still deal with the damn shit. But people try to tell you different techniques on how to bury it alive like the worm it is so you can function and be happy again. I did that. I was a miserable zombie. I didn't know how to properly grieve, and neither did my family before they passed away. Ma couldn't properly grieve because she had to go in survival mode and tried to live that way. Of course, she tried to have a happy life. There had been times that she did have happiness and joy, but there was an underlying sadness to it all. We just didn't bother to recognize it or deal with it. And David, after losing Ma, became more and more distant. He tried to get people to like him and talk to people so he wouldn't feel alone. Kept going to meetings when he could. But when we couldn't, we didn't. More and more isolated until he passed away. But we never did talk about the guilt. We never did talk about the mourning. We never did talk about people and places and lives we've that touched us a great deal. Or we touched them as well. We try to talk about it, but the damn thing's still too hurt on both sides. So now I gotta constantly talk about it. I gotta constantly say something about it because I sure as hell don't want to end up like I did with, like I saw Ma and Dave. Ma was eaten alive by it throughout the rest of her life. And it turned David into a closet face, a closet case, basically. I was the only caregiver here. I was the only person here. I was his anchor, his legs, his life. That was everything to him for the last few years of his life. And I couldn't get rid of the damn pain that he had concerning by losing Ma. He just wouldn't talk to me about it. He didn't know how to process the pain. He was always taught to put the pain behind him. Take the pain. I took the damn pain and that turned out to be a mess. And now I'm talking more and more about the pain since I'm getting more and more processed through the damn stuff because I know how it kills. I know how it takes people away, especially when they don't have anybody else to anchor them. I talk about it because it's the only way I'd be able to deal with it. And here's the thing, I get triggered more and more at home. Memories haunt. I get audio-visual triggers. Sometimes I'll get triggers when I'm dreaming. And it'll kick my ass. I can try watching other television shows or streaming services online trying to get me out of the damn funk, and I'll get into the worse funk because it also had family values. The triggers, hugs, reconciliations, sometimes death, but what gets me bet worse is family. Now, I've already said my trigger words right now, so my brain's going to start processing this damn thing, and I'll see something innocuous, and then boom, here we go. I tried to make a point to a friend online about this. I tried to explain to her how it is. Because this isn't the easiest damn thing to deal with. It's not supposed to. I mean, if this was the easiest damn thing that everybody else could do dealing with and still laugh and dance and sing and have fun and have joy and live life to its best because, oh, they're dead, but we're going to join them anyway, so let's. Like you arrogant bastards, you ignorant zombies. I made too much investment with a lot of people in my life. If I'm going to get into an accounting situation here, I've got an empty slot I can't fill. There's not enough debits to take away this credit if I want to get so analytical and so unemotional about this damn thing. And that really pisses me off. Because we're talking about people, animals, things we put value on that actually matter the damn thing to me. Not physical pieces of crap we've got around here, but really what made a person's life worth living. The people that we involved with, the people that we invested our life and our feelings, our soul basically, and have them taken away, whatever form, whatever fashion, doesn't matter. Once they're out of the life, slowly or even abruptly, it makes a difference. Dave, for a long time, had been trying to talk to me about Mama's death, even before she passed away. It was like months, and he saw the signs, but he didn't. I don't think I was really processing that until after it happened. And then, years later, his time. I'm not right after that. I'm not at that previous stage a long time ago where I could cope and function and try to laugh or try to live. No, I'm not. I'm changed till the day I die. I'm changed. Maybe it's best for people to stay the hell away from me. Ain't that the line? Ain't that the feeling and the thought right there? Because we just stay and marinate in our own damn juices till what? Our time? I'm not laughing, I'm not singing, but I'm struggling through school right now. I'm struggling through a process right now, trying to get through it, and then I'll be able to get through it and try to scratch something off of a to-do list. I still want to live. I won't laugh unless I actually feel the absolute need to do so. I'm not going to be singing and dancing and jumping for joy. I'm going to be slugging through the damn mud. Because that's how it is for me. Yeah, the people that have the support, I'll just slug. And even if I did have the support, I'll still slug it out. Can't ignore it. Have to go through it. Have to go through it. But that's what I do. I'm not pushing it down people's throat. I'm hearing other people going through the process and having a conniption fit over it. They don't want to deal with it. They're too damn angry, scared, frightened, Mournful, sad. They don't know how to cope. They don't know how to deal with it. There are experts out there. Medical profession has them. Psychologists, psychotherapists, behavioral therapists out there. Support groups out there. You can talk about the damn thing all you want. And other people have tried to do chemicals on themselves or whatever kind of technique it is just to get past the damn pain. And I hadn't. Some people probably think I've eaten too much. Uh, and my genetics, unfortunately. And sorry, I'm trying to clean that junk off my damn lips. It's hard looking at myself in the mirror and thinking that I know better, but I don't. I seriously don't. I've said before in a lot of my videos, I'm not a guru at anything. I'm just a guy going through the damn experiences left and right. I'm the guy looking at himself in the mirror and wondering how come he's still here. And scared of passing on at the same time. But that's what I'm going through. I don't push this stuff down people's throat. I've got people watching it. For whatever reason, they'll subscribe to this channel. They'll like a few of them here and there. But they'll watch them. Sometimes I scratch my head on that one. I use this as a lifeboat for my memories and my feelings and my thoughts, and maybe a legacy when it's my turn to go. Maybe a way of explaining to people that this is the process how I went through to a point where either I chose to go in a final path, which I'm nowhere near, or it was already chosen for me and I'm already either in the process of croaking or it may happen suddenly. And then this is all the things I got left is to talk about what's going on with me. No last will and testament. I figured the family, the bloodline, doesn't care, and neither did the other friends. Because they wouldn't be here. They're not here. And I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, miserable as it may be. But it seems like some people don't want to be dealing with the infliction of it until they go through the damn thing. And then they talk to other people about it and they get the support but people like me get pushed to the side. You know about them, you know of them, but you really didn't know anything, did you? Until the thing happens, and then I probably feel the anger and resentment at that point, saying, I was here talking about all this damn time about my own damn stuff, and now here you are complaining about your own stuff. And you get the support, and I don't. Welcome to my world. Ma died. Did I get any support about it? Not much. David passed away. And what did I hear? Crickets. It's hard to deal with loss of life. I don't care what kind of life it is. If you've got an emotional attachment to it, if you've got an emotional investment in it, it hurts. It hurts a great deal. But that's what it is. It hurts. It's supposed to hurt. Meanwhile, in my own life, if you happen to see anything crawling around is happening as it is, bug war. Cockroaches almost on a yearly basis at this point, 24/7. Despite the fact we get the place sprayed, wiped down a bit, they still come back. No place for me to move to, so I deal and I cope and I function. Not the greatest, but I'm here. Not saying that I'm brave, probably stupid. I deal with what I've got. I function. Barely, but I function. I survive. There are times when I enjoy life a little bit. There's things I'm going through right now that I have to go through. That some people scratch their heads at, and some people say, "Oh, that's wonderful that you're going back to college." Yeah. Despite the fact I'm going through a hell of a lot of shit right now, emotionally and physically, doesn't matter. I go through it anyway. I'm not talking about bravery. I'm not talking about what kind of a hero or anything else like that. Screw it. This was something I made a promise to my mother and my brother, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to go through this shit because I don't like to, but I'm going to go through it anyway. I'm going to go through the emotional roller coasters because this is grieving. This is mourning. I talk about it on a constant basis because not exactly my channel. I do a hell of a lot of audio recordings just to get it off my damn chest. I couldn't do that a long time ago, but now it seems like I'm a faucet that's already got the spigot broken. So all of it's pouring out. The thoughts, the pains, the feelings, the crying. The constant pleading to God to forgive me for all of this. And I pray to God and I constantly pray for Him to forgive me for me going through this damn process. I'm dealing, I'm coping, I'm talking to a therapist about it. I'm trying to gauge into a few things that may or may not keep me functioning and sane right now as it is. I'm trying not to be angry at people for who and what they are dealing with or anything else like that. I overreact when it comes down for the stuff on social media that are zeros and ones marketing bots out there are pushing shit down my throat. Now I'm reacting to that damn crap, political or otherwise. And it's bad enough as when I saw another news story concerning about another deputy who gets his ass killed, especially out in Palmdale, out in my territory. We've already had a few of them as it is over the past God knows how many years. We got body counts continuing. So now I got to deal with that. What else am I not supposed to be able to deal with? I can't talk about it. I can't gripe or complain about it. I can't mourn it. I can't grieve about it. It just has to be shoved aside like everything else these days. And then here comes the resentments and the anger saying, hell with that one. I'm going to do it this way. You don't like it? Damn pride, damn ego. Don't know its ass from a hot rock. I don't know my ass from a hot rock, and yet I'm going through this shit myself. It must be nice for other people to have help. Yeah, well, I guess I've always been alone. Despite the fact I had my mother I loved a great deal, and my big brother. My big brother. That hurts. They're like Siamese twins, 8 years apart, but we weren't. But we watched each other's backs growing up. I'd seen them go through hell and then through recovery. My recovery's still in question. Mentally, I'm still out of it. It's so damn easy going crazy with the anger and the frustration and resentment. Keep finger pointing left and right. Because you don't know how to deal with the damn pain. You're blind as hell to it. You're afraid of the damn thing. You're scared of the damn thing. You're angry and pissed off. You want to yell and scream because it's not so fair. It's not fair at all. Why, why, why? A little kid still trying to answer the question. Doesn't have the answers. Keeps screaming out the question to the parent doesn't have the response that the kid will be happy with. Doesn't matter, the kid's dealing with the raw emotions. Raw, unfiltered. Dealing with it. Be angry about it, live with the anger, peel him up and turn him into a rage monster one of these here days. Just might, if he actually had a little bit of explanation of what's going on. A little understanding, a little maturity, maybe he would understand. Some things you just don't have an explanation for. It happens, and you got to deal with it. And you got to cope with it. I kept blaming myself for David's death. I don't know what the hell I could have done for him. I kept blaming myself for Mama's death, and I couldn't do anything for her either. Mama died a slow death. She started dying off when Grandma died back in the 80s. She tried to live, she tried to do, she tried to accomplish, she tried to have family, friends. And the end, her two sons that loved her most took care of her until the day she died. Tore them apart and put them back together again. Humpty Dumpty reconstituted. And both couldn't deal with the pain, couldn't deal with the loss. We couldn't deal, we couldn't function. We'd go to meetings. Meetings were the place to go to all the time. I had a job to do, had functions to do. Tried to find other things in life to do about it. David couldn't deal with school, couldn't deal with the pressure. I did. And sometimes I keep wondering whether or not school was used as a crutch or not. Maybe it was. Maybe it still is. It's an outlet for me to deal and cope. It's got its own stresses, its own problems. And I'm still trying to function through the damn thing.